The Witch King is the greatest of the beings known as the Nazgul, and is the Dark Lord's most deadly lieutenant. Robed in all black, the Witch King has long since forgotten the man he used to be before he was gifted one of the rings of power. His enemies with a sense of despair, one that makes even the boldest of hearts tremble in terror. Among all the evil in Middle-earth, none, save Sauron himself, are more feared than the Witch King of Angmar, the one they say no living man can kill. Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name's Shadow Wraith, and today I'm going to be talking how to play the Witch King of Angmar. That's right, the Shadow Wraith is going to be talking about, well, the Shadow Wraith King, I guess, in person. So, here we go. I use this model a hell of a lot, whether I'm playing Mordor or Angmar, or of course the Black Riders Legendary Legion. And I thought it would be quite good to have a quick video on how to use this guy, because he's quite confusing to use, especially for newer players. You have to decide how much might, will and fate you want to give him. He's got quite a few upgrades. Some people don't know what's best to give him. Some people already do. And if you think you do, then stick around, because you never know. You might learn something. But without further ado, we'll just smash through his profile and then go from there. So, the Witch King of Angmar. If taken in a Barad-dûr list, he's a hero of valor. If he's taken in either the other lists, Angmar or Mordor, he is a hero of legend, which is quite useful, especially if you've got orcs running around. That first free stand fast is fantastic. Not that he should fail it, he's courage 6, but hey ho. He is 70 points to start with. Okay, he can go up to 150 points. He's got the movement value of 6. He's fight 5. Arguably should be fight 6 in my opinion, but hey ho, I'm a Wraith player, so I would say that. 4 plus shoot value, strength 4, defense 8, 1 attack, 1 wound, courage 6. He starts off with no might, 10 will, and no fate. So he's almost like a bog standard ring wraith. Yeah, his stat block is pretty much, apart from he starts with more will. Yeah, okay, cool, why not? Which begs, I mean, they're 55 points, the normal race start out with 7, so yeah, it makes sense, I guess, kind of. So, he's got heavy armor and a sword, he's got heroic resolve, heroic channeling, heroic strike, heroic strength, and heroic challenge. Fantastic, we're going to be using heroic strength a lot on this guy. No, I'm joking, you don't. Literally, I think strike and challenge are the only two I really use on him. So, yeah, there you go. He comes with the options to take an armoured Fellbeast for 70 points. I'll go over my opinions on them after I've read them out. A normal Fellbeast for 50 points. Crown of Morgul, armoured horse. Crown of Morgul is 25, armoured horse is 15. A normal horse is 10. Morgul Blade is 10. And a two-handed flail for 5. Ooh, that's cheap. The armoured Fellbeast, basically, if you don't know, has a defense value of 7 rather than 6. And Crown of Morgul, this is fantastic, okay? Right, so the Crown of Morgul is brilliant. You can notice all the models you're seeing right now all have the Crown of Morgul. That's a very good reason for it, because, in my opinion, if you are going to be taking this boy to games and stuff like that, where it's somewhat competitive and you kind of want to try and win a little bit, you bring him with a Crown of Morgul. Obviously, if you're going Black Riders, you can't, so don't worry about it. Unlucky. But yeah, the Crown of Morgul increases his attack value from 1 to 3. So now he can actually fight. And if he's put on a horse or armoured horse, then he can he can be throwing 4 dice on the charge. 8 strikes when he wins. So yeah, at strength 4, not too bad. But the biggest reason I bring it is, additionally, when the Witch King of Angmar chooses to make a casting roll or a resisting test, he gets to choose to reroll one of the dice. That's so good. Okay, that is so good. You can quite comfortably say 1 dice a Drain Courage easily, 1 dice a Transfix, Compel, Instill Fear. Yeah, most of your spells you can quite comfortably 1 dice. So you've got more will than normal Wraith. And then with this, you can comfortably 1 dice, a spell, because you've got a reroll just in case you roll that scary 1, 2, or 3, depending on what spell you cast. Yeah, I love that. I absolutely love it. I love encouraging a hero with 1 dice. Yeah, because do they resist it? Don't they? Because it will come to bite them in the backside if they don't later. Yeah, fantastic. Now, the Morgul Blade, basically, once per game, you can opt that you're going to make all your strikes using the Morgul Blade, okay? And this is, yeah, before rolling to wound, you pick it. So you know you've won the duel, which is quite handy. You say, I'm going to use the Morgul Blade on this, so you're fighting a troll or something. And basically what it does is if you score 1 wound that isn't resisted by fate, then it instantly kills the target. That's quite good. Shame it's only once, but I get why, because it turns into ash, doesn't it? So it makes sense. Narrative, well, lore-wise, I love it. It's very handy for taking down this big scary thing. So you do finally beat that troll. So you strike, beat the troll. You don't have to like try and rely on them rolling 3 6s. You can just roll 1 6 and one-shot the troll, or one-shot that ent, or so on and so on and so on and so on. You can be even lucky enough and get into 𝐾𝐜𝐬𝐿, beat 𝐾𝐜𝐬𝐿 somehow. Maybe he's transfixed or something. And he's got 1 fate. So you do 1 wound to him, and he fails that fate. He's dead. Haha, defense 8 gone. Same with big heroes like Elendil. Yeah, 1 fate. Yeah, Durin, 1 fate. Thror, I know he's got a 3-up fate, and he gets a new fate if he rolls a 4+, but he might roll a 1 and have no might. So it is handy to have. It is handy to have. His special rules are Harbinger of Evil, so 12-inch aura of -1 courage, and he's got Terror and Will of Evil. So the Will of Evil special rule is don't run out of will, basically. If you run out of will at any point, reduce to 0 will, you die. Yeah, you just remove him from the table. Done. Yeah. On top of that, there is a plus side to it. They're unaffected by the invisibleness of the ring bearer, so they can see him, cast spells on them, charge them without taking courage tests, all that good stuff. Aren't halved in fight value, so that is quite good, because there's a lot of ring bearers knocking about. Master Burglar Bilbo Baggins, I've seen him a few times. I've seen Frodo's around, especially 600 point tournaments where everyone brings like the Breaking of the Fellowship, because it's bang on 600, so it makes sense, and you can just laugh at that. Yeah, I quite like that. Now, when I said you can adapt him, this is what makes him so good. You can kind of level him to whatever you like scale you want him to, because you can buy your might, will, and fate, which is quite tasty. And it's 5 points per point of whatever. So 5 points for a point of might, 5 points for a point of will, 5 points for a point of fate. He can go up to 3 might, he can go up to 20 will, and he can go up to 3 fate. Okay, cool. That's not bad. That's not bad. Yeah, I'll go over the tactics and stuff after I've read everything out. He's got magical powers, of course, because he's a ring wraith. He's got Drain Courage, 12-inch 2+, Transfix 3 inches, 12 inches 3+. He's got Compel, 12 inches 4+, Instill Fear, 3 inches 4+. That's mental. Your Staff is Broken, 12 inches 4+. That's scary as well. Black Dart 5+, which is 12-inch range, and Sap Will 5+, 12-inch range again. Yeah, he's got very good spells. Very, very good offensive spells. Very good at shutting down enemy heroes or monsters or whatever you want to shut down. He's quite good at doing it. I love him. I think he's absolutely fantastic. With the Crown of Morgul, he's just terrifying on this battlefield. Okay? Now, let's get straight to the point. Okay? With this guy, 100% you're going to give him the Crown of Morgul. Okay? And we're going to start lower point games. Okay? So, lower point games, I'm talking like 500 points or under maybe. You could probably get away with giving him a horse. Okay? An armoured horse would be fancy-dancy, but yeah, give him an armoured horse. At lower points, at least give him an armoured horse. Okay? Crown, armoured horse. Minimum. But you are running the Witch King of Angmar. He's probably going to be leader unless you bring in Sauron, which you're probably not if it's a low points game. So you're going to want to give him some resources. 3 might. 3 fate. Okay? 3 might and 3 fate. 100%. Okay? 2 fate at a minimum. 2 might at the minimum. So really low points. But yeah. As for his will, I always try and pop in some will in there. So at low points, you want to get him to at least 12, I'd say, 13. But there's an optimal way to build him, in my opinion. And I'm just going to cut the rubbish, and we're going to go to the optimal way to build him, how I run him. So, 100% must take, put him on a Fell Beast. Okay? And yeah, sure, everyone thinks, oh, Felby's super combaty. Yeah, he's going to go punch things in the face whilst on his Felby's. No, he can do. That's the thing. He can do if he wants to. That's why I like the Felbeast. It's because he'll be your leader. You've got contest of champions. And now he's on a Felbeast. So that just bumps him from strength 4 to strength 6, basically, because of the same fight. You've got 3 attacks anyway with the Crown of Morgul. Yeah. That's, yeah, pretty good. And then, of course, you've got Monstrous Charge. So, you still get the charge bonuses if you're cavalry, but you can also knock down cavalry and certain other monsters. So, yeah, that's pretty tasty. I absolutely love that. I absolutely love charging into a hero and knocking them prone after winning a fight, and then just rending them because I'm on a monster at strength 6. Disgusting. So you can do that. Downside is you lose a point of will every time you're in combat. That's also what Will of Evil does. I don't know if I mentioned it. But yeah. So always put him on a Felbeast. Just gives him that flexibility to be combatty if he wants to. The biggest advantage to put him in on a Felbeast that I find is it gives him the mobility to be wherever he wants. So people will try and hide their heroes from this guy. People will try and hide their banners, especially if there's VPs involved for having banners. And having the Felbeast means you can jump over your line, cast a spell, and jump back across again. Because you can cast a spell at any point in your movement phase and then carry on moving if you've got movement left. So if it's just a 6-inch hop to jump in front of your wall of orcs, be in range, cast a, I don't know, Transfix or Black Dart or anything you want, a banner maybe, and then jump back to safety again. Happy days. There you go. The other thing he can do is he can hide quite effectively. I know what you think, he's a massive model, everything's going to shoot at him. Well, I've been in games where they've had rather large buildings or like a big rock formation. So if you've got like a weather top kind of like board, you can fly to the top of weather top. You can see your opponent, cast a spell, and then fly back behind it. Yeah, and there's nothing they can do. They can't see him or anything like that after that. It just gives you that flexibility. Buildings don't get in the way, woods don't get in the way, just as long as you clear the woods. It's absolutely phenomenal. Okay, that's what it is. That's what makes him so good. You can use them, fly him up the flank, so keep them close to your orcs until your orcs get close enough to engage the enemy. Once they do engage the enemy, you can fly him round to the side, see that big hero, transfix them, see that banner, either black dart them or something like that to get rid of them, or compel them away from the combat, because a compel goes off on a 4+, and you get a reroll. Transfix on a 3+, but I wouldn't transfix a banner. If you've got a hero, it's quite good to waste their will. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. And then you can move into combat and crash into the side of the shield wall if there is a shield wall there, and you can hurl away if you want, or rend, or do whatever you want. You can barge if you want. So yeah, that's what I would do. Now, as for his might, will, and fate, okay, so you give him the Felbeast, you're giving him the crown. They're the two musts. I would always give him 3 might, 3 fate, okay? 3 might, 3 fate, and then 15 will, so an additional 5 will. That rounds him off at a nice, 200 points? Which is not too crazy. Go away, Steam. Which is not too crazy, okay? It's quite an expensive hero, obviously, but he's the Witch King of Angmar on a massive Felbeast. He's going to be expensive. If you don't want to put 200 points in, you can put more like Strider level and give him a normal horse, and then he is, or an armoured horse, and then he's 165 points. Which is not bad for the casting this guy can do. Okay, you lose a lot of your mobility just being on a horse, but you've still got some, so you can dart around behind the lines. Yeah, but don't be afraid if later on you need to get those kills to charge him into combat. He can do that. Yeah, so they're the main things. They're the main things I want to say about building the Witch King. That's how I build my Witch King. If I've got the points, I will give him a Morgul Blade just to get rid of that one troll. Okay, so that brings him up to 210 points. So if you can squeeze an extra 10 points in, go for it. Give him a Morgul Blade. But I wouldn't drop anything else for the Morgul Blade just because it's once only and it can fluff. And it has fluffed for me. But if you've got 10 points spare, instead of getting that extra orc, just whack a Morgul Blade on him maybe. Just a quick little side note. You see this lovely little model here? Yeah, never give him the flail. No, don't. Don't do it. Why would you? Two-handed flail? He's not burly. Don't do it. Okay? If you want +1 to wound for your Witch King, then, I mean, you're on a Felbeast. Just put him on a Felbeast and just rend stuff. Like, come on, come on. Although a flail on a horse would be quite good. Nah, you'd have to spend might to get the 6 if you don't get the 6, you know. Yeah, it's a bit rough. I'd never bring the flail. So let me know in the comment section down below if you brought the flail and go, this is amazing. Because if it is, yeah, cool, awesome. Let me know. I want to know how it works. But I wouldn't bother giving the flail. Plus, come on. Look at that sword. It's a flaming sword. It just looks cool. How can you not have the Witch King with a flaming sword? So he swings around. He swings that thing around it in Penal Fields, but the flaming sword. Oh, when he lights that up. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. So here we are with a couple of little demonstrations on quick little things you can do. So of course we're fighting like elves here. Scary, scary. We've got the same amount of numbers. That's not good for us little orcs. Okay, both got banners. So we can have the movement phase if they moved forward to engage with us. So we're just moving forward a little bit. They're not going to fully commit. We can move forward. Look at that. We're good to go there. Okay. Boom. Okay, Witch King. He's going to be hovering around at the back of his lines. Okay, because we want to keep him safe. We're not going to chuck him into fight 5 Elven Blades. Okay, because we're just not going to come out looking pretty after that. And what we can do is if we get priority this turn, if not, they can charge if it just makes it easier because everything comes close to us. But if we do get priority, what we can do is we can fly. We don't even need to fly probably. 10 inches. You can just cast a compel on him. Probably just 1 dice here. Do I have any dice? Is that a dice? Cool. Yeah, look at that. Compel. And I don't know if we compelled him. No, with a reroll. Hey, look at that. The compel went off with the reroll because of the Crown of Morgul. And then we moved him 3 inches away. He's 3 inches away. We can then decide to engage because he's going to be out of range to give any banner support this turn, unless he decides to back off all elves that aren't in combat. Okay. Alternatively, we can Black Dart the banner straight away and get rid of that nice and early because there's no massive heroes to deal with, anything like that. No other shenanigans we can do. The other thing we can do with the Witch King, and he's the best at it, I have covered it in my Wraith Tactics video, is if you're in a situation like this, you're in charge range, but you've got a superior enemy, perhaps you should move him. What's that? 6 point. We'll go about there. 7. Yeah, we can do that. Where can we go after that? 7's a bit risky. We'll be alright. We'll be alright. So that's 7 inches-ish. And then we're going to instill fear. Okay, and if you want to channel it if you're going against things like elves, because all of a sudden they have to roll 3d6 and pick the highest, and that's how far away they run. So if that guy failed, and you get to pick the order, the caster gets to pick the order of who takes it, because if you bump into your mate, you're not going to run any further. But if they fail, it means they can't move any further that turn. So if we want to chin off the shield wall, we could even attack from one of the flanks and try and get rid of one of their flanks. That's probably a better idea anyway. So we can just, yeah, there we go. Slide this way. That'll probably be about, what, 6 inches, 7 inches. We'll call it 7 inches. And I'll roll some courage tests and we'll be back after. So there we have it. If their base is red, they failed their courage test. So one guy held their ground against the Witch King, not scared. And then what we can do is we've still got 3 inches to just run away. We'll go about there. Cool. I'll do. Alright, which means now we can charge anyone that decided to stick around and gang up on them. Boom. You know what? I'll cut and I'll show you what it looks like after. There we go. So basically we've charged them and started wrapping around their flank. We've got these guys who aren't going to be fighting. We're charged into them. And we're ganging up on one elf, hopefully killing elves. Okay? You get the idea. Right? We can pick fights a lot better when we do stuff like that. It worked really well against Iron Hills when they've got shield wall. You can just get rid of that. Yeah, it also opens up their hero. So if you've got Galadriel hid behind all these elves, so I had the Witch King here, and I broke these ranks. I mean, I can then probably send something else through the gaps I've just made. You get the idea. You get the idea. If I had movement left, so if I'd called the Instill Fear here, then, you know, I only moved a tiny bit. I could then fly over and attack something over here. That's a bit risky though. But yeah, there's loads of different things you can do with this little sausage. Ideally, I like running 2 Wraiths in a list, just because I can guarantee, well, not guarantee, I can just chin this guy off 3 inches so he can't fight. But yeah, And then I can do something like Instill Fear, or if he's in base contact with models, I can then compel him with one Wraith. Or if you're playing Angmar, you can use a Spectre, Deadmarsh Spectre, to Fell Light is upon you, him out of base contact with a friend, and then you can Black Dart their banner. I do that quite a lot. Cool, another quick scenario is we lost priority and we got charged by the Elven Lions, so we couldn't Instill Fear them. I mean, you can still try it, but it wouldn't go so well at all. What you can do, though, is you're here, you got 20-inch movement. Oh, look at that gorgeous banner. Well, I'm going to 2-dice compel. Why not? Oh, I kind of really want him away this turn, so I'll 2-dice it with a reroll. Thank God I got the reroll. And boom, there we go. Cool. There we go. Get rid of him. He can't move any further this turn. And then we've got 10 inches to fly into the side here. That's further than 10 inches, but there we go. TTS is being weird. He can fit there. It's just TTS isn't allowing it. You get the idea. You get the idea. Alright, he's in on that dude. You know what? Let's just get rid of this pillar. That's the marvels of technology there. Boom. Look at that. We're in that fight. It depends if you want to engage the spear support, because then if you can engage yourself in a certain way and they've gone in a straight line, you can hurl and only hit the elves spear support, which is actually really, really pretty yummy. But you are going to have to probably strike in the situation against the elves, just so you got the higher fight. And let's just see how that would go. So we've compelled the banner away. We're going to roll to fight. We get an extra dice. Control-C. Cool. Please, TTS, be nice to me and just let me roll a 6. Okay, we spent 2 will, and we spent 1 might to strike. And there's a 6. Boom, look at that, we win. So this boy will be knocked prone. We can just eat him, or, because I've lined it up in a perfect way, to an extent, like, as best as I can. You can do it better with a ruler. I always bring a ruler. Nice straight edge something for hurls. And I can line it up, because a lot of people do line up in a very nice straight line for you. Okay. If you've got a really savvy player, they might not, because they're scared of the hurl, but some people get put off because they think, well, all his boys are in combat. He probably doesn't want to hurl through all the combats. I've only engaged the spear support because this boy doesn't have a control zone, because this orc was in combat with him before I moved. So now I'm going to hurl, and it's like d6 plus the difference between strength. Wow, 12 inches. No, not 12 inches. That'd be 9 inches. This elf will go in a straight line. He's going to go through almost, so up to this fella. Wow. Okay. And, I mean, you can imagine. We don't even care if we kill him that much. They're just not in the fight this turn. So, I mean, I'll roll a couple just because I'm here. Why not? I'm interested. So, we're going to roll for him. Go on, kill him. Oh, dead elf. Next one. Nah, he's fine, but he is now prone. Next one is fine, but he's now prone. I can't remember how far we went. I think it was up to this red dude. No. Next one. No. Next one. No. And the last one. 5? Nah, he's defensive. Oh my goodness. I mean, yeah, sure, they got shields. Why not? If he was defense 5, it would have killed him. Boom, boom, boom. And then this guy's like super dead. He takes like 1,000,000 strength 3 hits, plus the initial strength 6. So he's probably dead. Yeah, we'll just say that was the initial strength 6 hit. Yeah, there we go, he's dead. So we only killed 2 elves out of that. But now, we've got 2v1 duels. We've got a banner. They have no banner. So basically, we're rolling 3 dice to their 1. If they decide to shield, then it's 2. But then they're not killing orcs. And orcs are so easy to kill, aren't they? There we go. And that was just because of the Witch King. We did use 3 will out of that because we did go into combat this turn. So, yeah. You got to be careful, obviously, because if they get priority this turn, then he could get charged by a bunch of elves. We don't really want that, but if he focuses all his elves on charging this guy, then who knows? You could spend 1 more point of might or something to then heroic combat and hope you roll a 6 and they don't, but you have to play it by ear. Especially if we had some kind of blocking piece of scenery. And let's unlock that, drop that down. You're going to drop? No, it disappeared out of existence. Sweet. Cool. Imagine we got a piece of scenery right here. He probably wouldn't be able to get many elves in on the Witch King, maybe 2, if we had a block, like, let's say from there to there. he wouldn't get any elves really, and maybe 2 because our orcs are here. Hopefully these guys win. But yeah, that's my other tactic. And just in case anyone was interested, that's how the fights turned out. Okay, so we killed a couple of elves here, which was absolutely fantastic. We lost the fight here, but he failed. He was shielding. A lot of shielding going on. So yeah, yeah, they've rolled like gods, these guys. So I always give my orcs axes or picks. I've converted them, so I like it because you pierce and strike, especially situations like this, because it makes them win on 5s rather than 6s. With the Mordor's reroll 1s army bonus is absolutely fantastic. Another elf here died. The shielding saved him. So if they backed away, they probably lost. Yeah, he backed away, but he shielded. And the orc, unfortunately, here perished. And they won, but failed to wound the elf with the spear support. So it was quite good, and it was just the banner reroll that helped over here massively. Okay, because the elf didn't roll a 6, and I had 3 dice, and I didn't even roll a 6 half the time. I just rolled a 5. It was just higher than the elves. So you could say dice helped there, but it's up to you. But yeah, there we go. The last little thing I want to show you, and this is really quick, it's just popped to me right now, is there's quite a handy little trick what you can do. So we've got the banner here, or something like that. It's quite fun actually, especially if you see like models out of place. That's a good. Oh, we forgot these. So if you've got some models out of place, so we can have a spear supporting fight here, protecting the flank. That's what I was meant to do. If you see something like that, this guy we're just going to say is a Morannon captain, someone quite killy. Fight 5, and we're just going to call the elves. We're not going to make them elves. They're like warriors of, I don't know, Minas Tirith or something. Okay, so they are only fight 4 at this point, or fight 3. Depends if you've got Boromir. Yeah, what you can do is, if you haven't moved the Witch King and you're at this point in the thing, is you've engaged the elves, you charge into these guys, they've got spear support, or they've already moved, or yeah. It doesn't matter. They've already moved. They're not going to move again. Yeah, so they've charged you. Now it's your turn. Cool, that's good. We'll go there. I'm going to cast a spell, and I'm going to compel that spearman away. You can get rid of the banner, but let's just say this guy you really want to kill. You're going to call a heroic combat with him later, but this is the movement phase. You're going to move him just behind him, and then that should trap the model that he's in fighting with. So if he moves 3 inches to there, because of the compel, assuming it goes off from the Witch King, he'll move all the way over to there, and that means this elf here will be now trapped, because he won't be able to back off that way, he won't be able to back off that way, he won't be able to back off that way, because they're fighting, and he's heroic combated, so that fight will definitely go first. And your strength 5, so with a spear support, with a banner, you should probably be able to take them if they're warriors of Minas Tirith, or something like that. The only reason I said not elves is because obviously, I mean, Tide Fight Elven Blade is never good, so it only really works if you have the fight value where you have a big hitting hero that will probably win. So yeah, and it's good to have heroic combat because then he can go help his muckers out. There we go. That's it. That is my quick guide on how to use the Witch King. It's relatively beginner friendly. So hopefully that helps you beginners out. Let me know in the comment section down below if you think I missed anything. I'm trying to think. I don't think I have. Nothing that's too crazy complex. I mean, we're not going to start like switching off heroic combats with magic. That's quite obvious. You can do stuff like that. You can compel people in the way to block off heroic combat. Yeah, sky's your limit with these spells. His spells are fantastic. Black Dart's obviously quite good at sniping enemy banners. Enemy heroes can be quite good to shred some of their fate or will. Sap Will's fantastic if you're playing with Angmar, because you can Sap Will with a Witch King or with a reroll, and if you do Sap Will, then you can try and paralyze them with the Barrow Wight. So yeah, there's loads of little like niche little combos you can do. Yeah, I love it, and the fact that he's got such high mobility. He's got 12-inch move. Ignore just the whole video. Yeah, I gave him 10-inch move for some reason. He's got 12-inch move. I knew that. Been a long day, so forgive me. If you put it down in the comments, thank you. I'm stupid. But yeah, let me know what you think. Do you use him a lot? Do you not? Would you load him out in a different way? I love to hear your opinion. I love having a chat about, especially my favourite character in all of Lord of the Rings, the Witch King of Angmar. If you like the video, do consider subscribing. and it helps the channel massively so I can keep bringing out the content. Yeah, and if you liked it, like it. Thank you ever so much. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.